Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is a UFO sighting out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Also have this video of Sergeant Carl Wolfe talking about the photos that he's seen of structures on Mars that were being airbrushed out of NASA photos. Also have this documentary that came out in 2007 of all these different UFO encounters on film. Here is another 17-minute video of this one guy who claims to have over 100 hours of UFO footage. Let's see, this is a video about the 1561 UFOs over Nuremberg. Apparently there was like a what looked like a war between a bunch of flying objects in 1561. Let's see, this is a news clip of a couple people who were attacked by some strange sea monster. This is a clip about Bushman, who was a scientist that claimed to have worked at Area 51 and to have worked with aliens, and he presents a photo. And there are people who try to debunk it and say it was a toy. I doubt that. Let's see, this is an article about William Cooper, and he talks about all of the different projects that had to do with UFOs. And then last is this video about this place called Alula. Here it's in Saudi Arabia, but if you see, it looks very similar to the structures that are at Petra, Jordan. Thought it was kind of interesting. Anyways, let's go to this first video here. All right, let me go full screen on this here. Check this out. Let's see, let me back it up a little. I mean, that's about it. This whole video is just this, what you see here. Anyways, link will be in the description. Let's go to this video here. Okay, now this is Carl Wolfe. He talks about going to a facility at an Air Force base, I think, and he talks about meeting someone and then watching them airbrush out structures.
Orbiter to the laboratory here. And he went through the whole process describing how the various radio telescopes around the world were linked, and they telemetered the data into Langley Field. And at the time, I didn't know what the real purpose of this darkroom and this operation and this facility was. I thought this was where they were bringing the data in and then releasing the images to the public. I had no idea that there were other issues involved in this facility. So he starts telling me all of this information, and I knew that what we were doing was classified anyway, and that he could only share a certain level of what he was doing with me because of the compartmentalized nature of our jobs. At any rate, he told me how everything worked. He showed me the equipment where the digital information came in, where it was converted to photographic images. They were doing 35 millimeter strips of film at that time, which were then assembled into 18.5 by 11 inch mosaics, they were called. There was a digital signature and a grayscale on every 35 millimeter strip. And those strips were from successive passes around the moon. And they would take and build up a photograph. They would scan one section of the moon, then another and another, and then they would get a larger image. So this mosaic then would be put in that contact printer, and that was then a print that was issued to whomever, the press, the scientist, whatever, wherever that was intended to go. So he was showing me how all this worked, and we walked over to one side of the lab, and he said, by the way, we've discovered a base on the back side of the moon. And I said, whose? What do you mean, whose? He said, yes, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And at that point, I became frightened, and I was a little terrified, thinking to myself that if anybody walks in the room now, I know we're in jeopardy, we're in trouble, because he shouldn't be giving me this information. I was fascinated by it, but I also knew that he was overstepping a boundary that he shouldn't be stepping over.
Anyways, yeah, he goes on and explains how some guy came in and took him out of the room. But yeah, this video talks about how they go through the process of airbrushing out all the structures and other things that they find in the NASA photos. Link to this will be in the description. Let's see. Yeah, now this is just a 50-minute video documentary about all these different UFO sightings.
He came back.
Check that out. Let's see. Here's another one here.
There was a lot of creative individuals that somebody somehow managed.
Let's see. Here another one.
Present technology that they let us know about. I personally think it's a.
Let's see. Here's another one.
If we could see reference points in this video, or is it? We could see reference points. I see trees. They have reference points. Just like.
Yeah, here. This one here talks about the STS-75 images.
A high school student named Victor Chiluisa managed to capture what many experts consider one of the most extraordinary UFOs ever caught on tape.
Here, look at this. Is from 1995, And again, in all this time, you still have these douchebags talking about, oh, there are no clear images or clear videos of UFOs. Well, here you go. Anyways, link to this will be in the description. Let's see. This is, this guy, man, tapes 100 hours of UFO footage. Let's check this out.
An unconventional, yet man-made, remotely powered vehicle. Or is it a genuine UFO?
I don't know. Is this from 2002? Look at this UFO here.
The object seems to make a controlled turn.
But anyways, it's a long video. Again, I can't play all these things. I've been getting hit with copyright violations. So anyways, link will be in the description. And, just go to these people's pages and these channels and check them out. Let's see. Okay, yeah, now this one here, it just talks about this UFO battle that these people witnessed in 1561. And, I ask again, what would make more sense? That these UFOs decided, oh, let's have a war. It's like, oh, let's meet on Earth, 4 o'clock, be there. Or, or is it more likely that whoever's controlling these objects are also from this planet? And it's just the biggest secret that they've been hiding from us.
It's unclear if Glossa meant to indicate that they were actually producing flames or not. Once the objects landed in the fields below, they slowly wasted or faded away, producing an immense amount of smoke in the process. Oddly, the woodcut appears to show the smoke being produced from open pipe ends sticking up from the earth. The last thing that anyone saw in the sky that morning was a black, spear-shaped apparition, described as being massive in size and pointing to the west. It's unknown if Glossa saw the UFOs himself or not, but he seems to have spoken to those who did. However, he devoted less than 400 words in the original German to describing the event, and his account is short on details. He never estimates the number of people that saw the aerial display, and he doesn't name witnesses. What any of them made of the event is uncertain, as there is no other reference to it in the historical record.
Anyways, that's that video there. I can't play too much of it. I'll link will be in the description. Let's go to this one here. Okay, now this one, I'm going to try and play a lot of it. Anyways, this woman was apparently just out floating in, I guess, in Rhode Island someplace. And yeah, listen to the story that she tells, though. And she seems sincere. Wait, let me back up a little bit here.
It was low tide, and Rachel Carney was out beyond the danger sign, floating on her back, relaxing, when big trouble struck.
I turned around, I heard a hissing sound. So I stopped, I looked beside me, and all I seen was a face come up with these big teeth, and I just remember the face being shaped like a basketball, and the face went in. I kind of sucked in and then went squared off. Then it had all white. It kept swimming around me. It rubbed up against my leg. So I just stopped. and I pretended like I wasn't moving. That's when it rubbed up, went down, kept going around me.
It rubbed up against your leg?
Up against my leg.
It touched you?
It touched me. That's how I knew it was scary.
Really?
It had scales, because I felt the scales, and plus I seen the face. So I started swimming away. I yelled, Danny, help me, something's chasing me.
Rachel Carney's fiance, Dennis Vasconcelos, had been fishing with a buddy on these rocks. He raced into the water.
It's going to get her. I grabbed her by the ass, or rear end, and I grabbed her like that, and I whipped her in. We're over her head. I whipped her in. I says, Rachel, just swim. Don't turn around no matter what you hear, right? Now I stood there, and the thing's going like around me and stuff, right? And I can see how big it is and stuff, and it's gigantic, okay? It has scales on it and stuff. Now all of a sudden, from me to you away, this big head comes up. Honestly, I've never seen nothing like this before in my life. It's like a basketball. It's like this big, okay? It comes up, and it's got these fangs, like my fingers, right? The first, this many in the bottom, and about 2 or 3 at the top, plus layers inside, okay? And it's like blackish on the top a little bit, and it's got a couple of scales that you can see and stuff, and you can see the white starting under its neck, and it shoots water out of its nose, right? And out of its mouth, it goes like this to me. It goes, and it spit the water out of me. Now I think it's going to kill me, you know what I mean?
The group thinks the creature was attracted to blood from a nasty injury to Joey Melo's leg.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but anyways, those guys seem pretty scared. And later on, the woman talks about how she's never going to go in the water again. Yeah, and again, you know, after listening to so many of these stories, I just kind of feel like sometimes we humans just put ourselves on the menu and we have no reason to. Anyways, a link to this will be in the description. Let's see. Okay, yeah, now this video here, it just talks about this guy, Boyd Bushman, who on his deathbed revealed that he had worked at the Area 51 and, you know, he had worked with some certain aliens. Well, anyways, he goes on to produce this photo. Now, you know, people try to debunk it and say that, let's see, let me find that photo. Oh, yeah, this is a toy, right? That they were saying that this is the toy that he actually shows. But then this guy later on, he goes to show here, this is another toy, how there is some similarities between this toy and Boyd Bushman's photograph, but it's a little bit different. And I've heard other people say that this toy was created based on Boyd Bushman's photograph. Let's see, and then later on, I think, where do they show this toy? Here it is. Yeah, this toy here, just in some guy's toy collection. Apparently, whoever did this, you can see that here's another skull here, and here's another little alien here. But I think this toy here is a one-off. And again, like I've heard that this one-off was created based on Boyd Bushman's photograph, as opposed to Boyd Bushman, taking a photograph of this toy. Now, I've also done a search. I mean, if this was actually sold at a store, there should be an SKU for it, right? Or SKU number for it. I couldn't find one. And another thing that, if this was sold in a store, as opposed to just some one-off photo, where's a production photo? Where's a like a flyer from a newspaper or an ad, showing this thing, or even like a photo of several of these, like a row of these, like being made, or a row of them on a shelf on a store, which I have not been able to find. So I think, all the people who are claiming that, that all he did was take a photo of a toy, I don't know. I think the toy was created based on Boyd Bushman's photo, and that there was only one or two toys created, because again, I have not been able to actually find any store that sells these things in mass. So anyways, link to this will be in the description. Let's see. This is an article here about William Cooper, who wrote the book Behold a Pale Rider, I think it's, no, Behold a Pale Horse. And it's all about all of these different top secret groups in the government, you know, MJ-12, Majestic 12, and things like that. But anyways, this article here talks about some of the projects that he was aware of. Here, Milton Cooper's testimonial, Project Grudged, comprises 16 volumes of documented information gathered from the beginning of the United States investigation of UFOs and IAC identified alien crafts. The project was fueled by the CIA's confidential funds obtained through the illicit drug trade. The Jason Society was a secret elitist group authorized by former President Eisenhower in order to dig through all the facts, evidence, technology, lies, and deception and discover the true facets of the alien reality. The society was comprised of 32 of the most conspicuous men in the U.S. at the time. Here's MJ-12. Aquarius, a project containing the known history of extraterrestrials on Earth, as well as their interactions with Homo sapiens for the last 25,000 years, and culminating with the Basque people who live in the mountainous country on the borders of France and Spain, and the Syrians. Yeah, you know, the Basque people have the most percentage of negative or of Rh negative blood, which, you know, is unlike any other blood. You know, I mean, most people have A, B, or O, but these people have a Rh negative. And yeah, and again, you know, if you study these people, no one knows where they come from. Their language is based on nothing that we know of. So I believe, you know, that these are also some people that must have crash landed or, you know, came to this planet many years ago. But anyways, check out this this article here. And now last, I just wanted to point out this video about this place called Alula. Like, I have never ever heard of it, and apparently it was just I guess revealed to the public in 2019. Alula is a unique region of Saudi Arabia that was hidden from tourists until September 2019. Now the world has the opportunity to discover ancient places which are more than 6,000 years old. But look at the similarities between this and Petra, Jordan. But let me just go back. This video is really about some kind of festival that they have here. To correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a region like this carved by water, or is it wind? You know, I mean, I think places like this were once surrounded by water, and yeah, I think these rocks were created by water flowing through here. I'm sure, you know, somewhere in the ancient past. But anyways, this is a very interesting video. Talks about, you know, this place Alula, very similar to Petra, Jordan. And, you know, like the guy said, as you know, it's created by the same people, the Nabateans. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.